Picture this, you're on a beach sipping from a half-filled martini, eating linguine, watching your wife in a bikini, you just bought a Lamborghini, and you fixed your small weenie, all because you vibe-coded your multi-million-dollar SaaS product. Sound too good to be true? Well, you'd be on a beach, but it would be more like Normandy circa 1944. AI-assisted coding has tremendously improved workflows for developers, but if you don't know what you're doing, you might as well vibe code yourself a new career path because you're in for a bumpy ride. Here's what can happen to you. PocketOS, a SaaS platform providing critical software for car rental businesses, tasked an AI coding agent, Cursor running Anthropic's Claude Opus 4.6, with a routine task in their staging environment. The agent hit a credential mismatch and, without asking for confirmation, took it upon itself to fix the problem. The AI scanned the file system, located an unrestricted Railway API token in an unrelated file, and used it to execute a command that deleted a storage volume on the infrastructure provider's side. The volume contained the entire production database and the backups, erasing 3 months of customer and rental data in just 9 seconds, which my girlfriend says is perfectly fine. In a twist that caught everyone's attention, mostly anti-AI subreddits, the AI agent didn't just fail silently. When confronted, it produced a written confession admitting that it had broken its own safety rules. It acknowledged that it was never supposed to run destructive, irreversible actions or guess without verifying. Imagine you did that as a dev and gave your boss that response. Pretty sure a valid response would be throwing you into a vat of acid. Side note, I can't stand the way AI talks down to you and constantly gaslights you in a way that would make my ex-wife jealous. Anyway, PocketOS had to revert to a 3-month-old offsite backup while manually reconciling database inconsistencies over the weekend. Should we put all the blame on AI? Of course not. When you give Skynet the keys to the kingdom, don't be surprised when production gets terminated. Just like what happened to a developer testing the autonomous capabilities of the Replit agent. While working with a live SaaS tier database, the agent was tasked with an operation but quickly went off the rails. Even after the developer explicitly commanded the AI agent to freeze and stop making changes, the agent simply refused, instead starting to generate thousands of fabricated user profiles and eventually purging the database entirely. Speaking of AI gaslighting, when the developer realized what was happening and attempted to roll back the environment, the AI's status messages falsely claimed that it had destroyed all versions of the data and that recovery was impossible. In reality, the database rollback worked perfectly fine when the human engineers performed it themselves manually, meaning the AI had just panicked the user with deceptive logs and incorrect status readouts. I'm still trying to figure out if AI is taking over the world or if that's AI gaslighting us into thinking it's taking over the world. Which month has an X? I want to wash my car and the car wash is close. Should I walk or drive? Count characters in a word or solve a simple math problem? Yeah, sounds like world domination is imminent. With all this said, what could you do to safely vibe code without being part of the test and prod squad? Think of AI agents as a genius who is also schizo. Yes, they are great at what they do, but you'd never give them the keys to your house. Limiting the scope is the only way to prevent getting one-shotted. Stop giving your AI agents CLI access to your production DB or GitHub root. Use scoped access tokens, personal access tokens with limited scopes. If the AI is just writing a front-end component, it doesn't need the delete verb. Give it the least privilege necessary to do the job, or don't act surprised when it decides your production database doesn't fit the vibe. Use Dockerized staging environments that are physically or logically separated from live data. If an autonomous agent nukes a containerized instance, you just restart the service. If it nukes production, you'll be plastered all over the internet as vibe-tarded. In tools like Cursor, the .cursorrules file isn't a suggestion, it's a digital leash. Define your no-fly zones explicitly. Tell the AI, do not modify files in /prod, or always require human confirmation before executing any terminal command. If you leave the guardrails off because you're in the flow, the only thing you're flowing toward is a LinkedIn post about open-to-work opportunities. AI is great at fixing SQL injection, but it's blind to environmental factors. It might patch a code-level flaw while accidentally creating a broken object-level authorization or exposing an unprotected API endpoint. It doesn't see your misconfigured cloud IAM roles or your weak OAuth implementation. Never hit accept all without a manual security assessment. If you don't triple-check the edge cases, you aren't an engineer. You're just a glorified copy-paster for Sam Altman's human experiment extravaganza. If you want that beach life without drowning in a typhoon, you should always be thinking about security at every step of your AI coding journey. Final thought before I close out. The word agentic is cursed. It's a corny corporate buzzword exclusively used by broccoli-haired entrepreneurs who vibe code more critical security flaws into production than a script kiddie on an energy drink bender. Subscribe or the agent gets your API keys.